I have not been streaming for a little while. As per usual, I've taken a big break because I had a big crash and I felt like utter shit lately. But that is fine because we're doing a stream now. As per usual, the world is in utter chaos, especially centered around America. It continues to be a cancerous tumour on the world, and I'm just going to do some general coverage of what's been going on over the past few weeks. I've got a bunch of tabs up. I'll start off with some British news because we are British, and I think there's enough American coverage really to kind of ignore that as much as needed, and I can focus on this instead. We'll start off with some of the backlash that Hannah Spencer has been getting, which I think is just completely vile. It really comes from a place of utter, from the far right, like utter sexism, and really, well, I'll show you, but it's really upsetting to see. I'll start off by playing the video.
You want drugs legalised in this country. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. You want to legalise crack cocaine and heroin in this country.
You want to let in dirty perverts, not
disgrace.
our kids.
You are a traitor to this nation. You are scum.
I won't play the whole video.
I wouldn't wipe you with my leftover toilet roll.
I wouldn't wipe you with my leftover toilet roll. The right-wing perspective on most things is just to misrepresent it and then get angry at it, right? This poor woman who has gone through quite a tiring race to become, to get voted in, is now getting harassed as she's trying to do her new job. Just absolutely sickening to see. I think she's genuinely a lovely person. If you line up all the current politicians and have a real think about who deserves criticism, who deserves this kind of like protesting as they enter the Downing Street, she is far from top of the list. She is just genuinely trying to fight for her constituents, and this is the treatment she gets. It's just upsetting. And it's the biggest fucking idiot stood outside. Or you're trying to let drugs in. Objectively, I've done a video on this. Objectively, the Greens' drug policy would do better for our drug issue, right? It would sort the issues that we're seeing. There would be less drug deaths and less drug circulation.
You're not going to get into power. You haven't got a chance.
You're not going to get into power. The microphone as well. So bad. Fine. Yeah, just really upsetting. This poor woman. And that's not the worst of it. The right-wing freaks have been absolutely honing in on her. Constant harassment. This is something else I saw recently. Have you ever watched reality television show Snog, Marry, Avoid? I asked Grok to do a pod-style makeover. Oh, just so disgusting, such disgusting behaviour. This kind of like, unless you perfectly fit into my idea of what a presentable woman looks like, I'm going to mistreat you. Just so sickening. This got a lot of attention, and there's been quite a lot of posts very similar to this. These kind of accounts are very much engagement bait, trying to roll people up in order to get like. So, look, it's got so much engagement purely because that's their intention, right? A simple white blouse and pen, like this outfit is not really problematic in the slightest, is it? It's just a bright coloured outfit. I think the times of having to really conform to this smart aesthetic is long gone, and you can see that with many politicians, right? It's not just Hannah Spencer on the left. It is like we see Angela Rayner turning up in like bright outfits. Even Suella Braverman, who is currently a Reform MP. I don't know how long that's going to last, but she's currently a Reform MP after moving from the Tories. And she shows up in like bright green outfits as well. This is not problematic, but these people latch onto this because she's left-wing. Anyone who thinks her presentation is irrelevant should take a look. She dresses like a child for a reason. That concerns me. This outfit is not a child's outfit. bizarre framing of this, complete non-issue, and it's just used in a way to belittle and attack. Yeah, it's just a very frustrating thing to see so much of. If you're going to be annoyed at a politician, attack their politics. Don't attack what they're wearing, especially when it's such a non-controversial thing like this. Really frustrating to see. Here we can see what Nigel Farage wore on that day. He didn't turn up. As per usual, he did not actually turn up. So as the right are attacking what this lovely lady is wearing, as she's actually trying to better her community, Nigel's just probably off in America somewhere. He's just fucked off for today. So I don't know how they can criticise this when Nigel isn't even turning up. And this is like the usual. He very often is just not there. He's just not showing up. It's just an upsetting thing that I've been seeing quite frequently. The kind of personal attacks. I time-stamped a documentary I watched once called Misrepresentation, where it goes through how women are attacked in politics, if you're curious to see what I mean. Not to detract in the slightest, by the way, of course. No, that's absolutely fine. I'm always happy to have content showing up in the comments. In the chat, that's the word. Top 15 sexiest female politicians.
It's
Jesus.
affecting women's ability to participate in the political process.
I hope you guys don't mind me having captions on. I don't know how to set up stream so that I can hear the audio without having headphones on. I don't want headphones on. Don't worry about distracting, that's fine.
Ironically, the more power women gain, the stronger the backlash against them. And this phenomenon is most evident in the way the media disrespects our female leaders.
It is really used as a way to discourage people from doing the same kind of thing that Hannah Spencer did as well. That's what I find most frustrating. They're really trying to shut down as much of people gaining confidence to come forward like Hannah Spencer did, and they're really trying to shut that down. It's just nasty, and they're using really old-fashioned sexism to do so.
She's irresistibly cute, let's put it that way. In the
Just
way
so
she
uncomfortable.
presents herself, obviously she's attractive and all that.
Sarah Palin looks really hot in that hat. She just said that she doesn't know how cars work. Oh, that's crazy. Have you seen that?
I can imagine it's a lot more prevalent in America, but we do see it a lot in England. This does seem quite old-fashioned. Talking about old instances of this happening, but it's not really changed. I don't know how to make it. Chat showing up as bright white. Sorry, getting a little bit distracted. I need to spend some time figuring out my Twitch setup, unfortunately. Well, the documentary, 2011. But what's interesting is it's so applicable to today. We haven't really moved past this kind of really outdated sexism. I wasn't using it as a criticism of the link you sent. I was using it as a, it's interesting that it's still very applicable. Is that easy to read? It's not very easy to read at all, is it? Jesus. Oh well.
Hat on her?
Both you and Sarah Palin are good-looking women. I mean, you're attractive, young, relatively young women.
Yeah, again, it is just using it in a way to make them as uncomfortable as possible. And I don't know if most of these people are doing it on purpose, but I can imagine that really does make people not want to take up these positions of power.
And he's going to put on the US Supreme
Because you're just going to have half the country looking at you and objectifying you and judging you based on what you wear. Just ridiculous. Who cares if you wear a bright coloured suit? Do good politics, and that's what she's doing. And then, just uncomfortable.
Such a thing about the aesthetics of the appointee. Let's put it to you this way: she's not the type of face you'd want to see on a $5 bill.
Gross behaviour.
Sotomayor and her club a bunch of vacuum cleaners to help them clean up after their meetings.
Cynthia McKinney, the former congresswoman from Georgia, was another angry black woman.
Look at these ugly
Oh, she's
skanks
gross.
who make up
Framing.
the female leadership of the Democratic Party.
This is what I mean by it very much seems like it's coming from the far right or the right wing. All of these instances has been like right-wing newscasters or right-wing commentators, right? Commentators, I don't know. It's not very often that kind of behaviour is exhibited from the left, if that makes sense.
You know that ugly hag Madeleine Albright? Remember her?
Ugly hag, just vile behaviour.
Secretary of State under Clinton.
You'll bang on, and they bring in a political scientist to discuss how it affects women in politics. I can imagine it's just so uncomfortable. Oh, gross. What it results in is lower political efficacy, which is basically that women think their voice matters less in politics and seek positions in politics less, which is so upsetting because some of our best politicians have been women. I think Hannah Spencer's doing an absolutely phenomenal job. It's a shame I closed down the tab because... give me 2 seconds to bring Twitter back up. And some of these are considered left-wing in the US. Chris Matthews is American left, same with a couple others there. Ugh. That's upsetting to see. It is very good to compare it to Nige, I think, on that day. Oh. This was Nigel Farage on that day. That's his outfit. Oh, I can't control the tab, sorry. Just nothing. Didn't even show up. Such a joke. Criticise your own politicians for being absolutely fucking useless. Don't criticise the women for wearing the wrong outfit. I feel like it just invalidates any kind of criticism they want to make. If they're saying, oh, it's really problematic that they're wearing bright outfits, we can't really take them seriously on any other topic. Here we go. I'll bring this back up because it's just sickening. Really vile. There we go. This is a non-issue whatsoever, I think. And using an AI, which we've seen recently been used to attack women in a broad sense, as in unconsensually editing them. To do that and then say, oh, this is just gross, I think. Takes away my words. Sickening to see. And it's sickening to see it being pushed so far on such a mainstream platform at the moment. And the phrasing of using it the way they use snog, marry, avoid is, again, another way they're just trying to box in women in like... I haven't streamed in a while, so I'm a bit stuttery. It's fine. Snog, marry, avoid. The way they're using that to criticise her is suggesting that her only value, right, is her attractiveness. And I mean, you can make this argument here, not even the childlike looking. You can make the argument that you don't like bright colours, but don't attach it to her personal value as a woman. Just disgusting. And then you frame it as like her trying to dress as a child in some kind of like problematic way. Just very strange behaviour, I think. She dresses how she wants to dress. That's all that matters, I think. And she's doing good politics. There you go. They're the two things that matter.
Remember, like a fat moron.
And now we have
Fat
the wicked
moron.
witch of the West, Nancy.
I mean, we do see these kind of attacks, especially against Trump, because he's so strange looking. And I mean, we're seeing it non-stop against Polanski as well. But it does seem to be like a lot of these kind of attacks are very much rooted in the kind of sexism that our society relies on, you know?
I think if Speaker Pelosi were still capable of human facial expression, we'd see she'd be embarrassed.
Nancy Pelosi, that
I don't like Nancy Pelosi, but
lady. Another reson why it's very rare to find
criticise
a
her
woman worthy of
politics,
serving
no?
in political office.
And it's bye-bye Pelosi. And Hillary...
We did see Ding Dong the Wicked Witch is Dead when Thatcher died. That does seem to be something used quite a lot. And I guess Thatcher was quite disgustingly right
Her
wing.
fineness is no better than Dumbo with the big ears.
When she
Dumbo with
raises
the
her
big ears,
voice, and
mask.
when a lot of women do, you know, it's as I say, it reaches a point where every husband in America has heard it one time or another.
You get a woman in the Oval Office, most powerful person in the world. What's the downside?
This rhetoric was pushed so frequently with Hillary Clinton.
You mean besides
can a woman handle America?
There's probably no more powerful influence in the way we view power than the way media treats power. And media treats power as defined by men, because it has been throughout our generation and the ones before generally defined that way.
When press representations of women who are running for the highest office in the land are focusing, for example, on how women look instead of what they've done or their issue positions, that's got to impact the audience in terms of how they evaluate and judge those women. One of the things it does is it trivializes them. It makes women seem less powerful.
I'm trying to fix
During
my
the Democratic National Convention in '84,
face
when
cam.
Geraldine
Sorry.
Ferraro was running, she was introduced on national television as the first female vice presidential candidate, size 6.
Just
so
gross,
this is
isn't
not
it?
new.
Just really gross.
My colleague did a study looking at Elizabeth Dole and her race for president. She was coming in second in Iowa at the time, after George Bush, and there was much more coverage of her appearance.
And I mean, I understand that it would be quite common in the 70s, right? But the fact that we're still seeing this kind of attack today is just so upsetting. And then the right wing front want to suggest that no, everyone is equal now. You need to stop talking about that. They say it the same with racism. No, there's actually no issue now. And then they attack people based on being angry black women, or like. I mean, Islamophobia is a good example of this. With Zohran Mamdani, the only criticism they have of him in the run-up to his election was he's a Muslim. How that's not a good idea. Muslims are dangerous. These kind of people who attack based on things other than the politics always rely on these pre-existing biases that society have set up. It's so frustrating. And it's just pathetic. It's lazy and pathetic. Put some work in to actually criticise these people.
There was of the substance of what she was talking about.
When I ran for Congress, I was campaigning at grocery stores, and a woman came up to me, and she put her arms around me, and she whispered, "Don't worry. You don't look nearly as fat in real life as you do on TV." The week before the election, a man came up to me, and he said, "You seem great, but I don't feel like I could vote for you for Congress. I feel like I should hire you as a babysitter."
When I first ran for public office...
I do not want to listen to Nancy Pelosi. I do not like her. But not because she's a woman. That's the difference. I do not like her politics. This is good. I'll continue watching this off stream. I'm interested to see when they start talking to the political scientist, because I can imagine it is just so upsetting. You're really spending a lot of time and effort trying to better your society, and you just get boiled down to, I don't know, you're not really a pretty face, are you? I'm not going to vote for you. Just sickening. Shouldn't matter. Look, we've got goblins like this in prominent positions. It shouldn't matter what people look like. And it's pretty ironic for me to immediately transition into insulting people, but it was a just example, I think. Anyway, yes, this is a good example of the kind of popularity we're seeing online is not reflected in real life. Restore Britain are not getting any votes in person. They don't even have many people running. Yet somehow they're on 113,000 members. Absolutely ridiculous. Same with Reform. They are not having this kind of support. Here's the timestamp. Oh, hero, thank you. You're so good in chat. It's so helpful having someone in chat putting content. Oh. It's short. Yeah, no worries. I'm not sure why it's not loading though. There we go.
Women and girls self-objectify, the more likely they are to be depressed, to have eating disorders. They have lower confidence, they have lower ambition, they have lower cognitive functioning, they have lower GPAs.
And that is exactly the same as nowadays. a woman's value is very much placed on the looks and what she wears and her body. It's just disgusting. And it absolutely has an effect on the young women and the children that are seeing this kind of media coverage, right? So upsetting. Yeah, it's really frustrating, I think. It's not fair. I worked in a school for like 3 years, right? And it absolutely has an effect on these young girls' opinions on themselves and their self-worth. Really sickening.
How does this
And it's
connect to
intentional. It's absolutely intentional. Because those in really high positions are all men. And they don't want that to change. These people are terrified of any kind of equality because they know the only reason they're in these high up positions. It also raises things like self-harm. Yeah, exactly. The amount of times I was covering medical and people would come in with cuts, and it's so clearly linked to their self-value being absolutely nothing because all their life they're told the only thing that matters is how you look and how well you fit into my idea of what a woman should be. Just really upsetting. And it will continue to do this kind of damage. But yeah, again, it's completely intentional. These people don't want women to be having the confidence that the men have. They don't want them feeling like they can be in these positions. Because if you look at Hannah Spencer, she ignored that kind of... I mean, I'm sure she got a lot of... She was quite upset of the coverage she was receiving. But she ignored it and she's now in a position of power. She's done really well. And they don't want that to happen, I don't think.
And in leadership,
well, I know.
Women who are high self-objectifiers have lower political efficacy. Political efficacy is the idea that your voice matters in politics and that you can bring about change in politics. So
yeah, when the only thing that gets brought up is how you look, it really does shut down any kind of like, oh, no one cares about how what I'm actually fighting for. It shuts down any kind of like value in what you're talking about.
we have a whole generation of young people being raised where women's objectification is just par for the course. It's normal, it's okay. We have a whole generation of women who are less likely to run for office and less likely to vote.
Yeah, really upsetting. I can imagine it's such damage on young women. And even the politicians running it's not fair on. Even if they're even if they're right wing, no one deserves this kind of treatment. Really upsetting to see. Oh, I see. I figured it out. Don't worry. Don't worry. No, I haven't. Brilliant. Bam. There you go. Did it. Sorry about that. Yes, really upsetting. Not fair.
If the media is sending girls the message that their value...
And I think it's both cowardly and very, very weak. Relying on society's pre-built narratives and biases and stuff. That's a lot of my criticism of the far right and the right wing of society. They're weak and they're cowardly. They're not putting in the time and effort needed to actually criticise someone. It's very easy to just say, "Oh, you're a woman. No one should vote for you. Oh, you're a Muslim. I'm not going to vote for you." It's all the foreigners' fault. It's all the immigrants' fault. But it's very difficult to actually break down society's problems and say, look, society's working exactly how it's supposed to do, exactly how it's supposed to be working. It's just not there to benefit you. It's there to benefit billionaires and the ruling class. But yeah, it articulates exactly what we're talking about with respect to Hannah. Yeah, and it's just so upsetting. She's just trying to do... She's genuinely just trying to do good for her community. She's trying to do better. She's trying to fight for the people, right? And that's the treatment she gets. It's just disgusting. Another example of the kind of different treatment between different groups is this stupid Richard Tice scandal. Now, this kind of thing comes out about a Reform member once every few weeks. Like, Nigel has bought houses that he's paid for, but he hasn't actually used his money. It's massively suspected that a lot of reforms votes are ways of these kind of people money laundering. It's suspected that Nigel has put a lot of his own money into having an increase in membership, right? But again, when one of the Labour members do it, she gets kicked out. But when this stupid twat does it, it's absolutely fine, apparently. Do we have... I'm relying on the... Not, yeah, look, Rayner. Avoidance was legal. What? Did you see that? Where was it? Nonsense. Tice's avoidance is legal. Rayner's wasn't. I personally don't think anyone should be avoiding taxes. I think everyone should be paying their fair share. I like taxes. Taxes are good. But I think that framing is just so stupid. But there are non-stop issues just like this coming out of reform every week or so, and it just gets ignored. It's just absolutely fine if it's a white man doing it, but the moment it's like anyone who's potentially on the left or anyone who's associated with, anyone associated with the left is unacceptable. We've talked about it before. It's the kind of controversy is okay for anyone but those I'm opposing, right? From the perspective of someone on the right, they think that you can ignore any kind of controversy until it's someone who we don't like, and then it's like hyperfixated on. It's really frustrating to see. We were talking about it on the run-up where Reform had like the trying to get my words right. What the name of the person who went up against Hannah Spencer? His name was Matt Goodwin, right? That was quick. Matt Goodwin. He had a legal issue with his campaign, and it was just ignored essentially. A few people talked about it, but it wasn't highlighted in the kind of intensity that the left-wing controversies are highlighted in. It took a minute to get that out, but we got there in the end. Yeah. I mean, the same kind of scrutiny is applied to Zach Polanski about his teeth. Like, brother, this guy is avoiding massive amounts of taxes, and then Polanski just has non-conforming teeth, and they get you see the same kind of outrage about it. Just pathetic, honestly pathetic. But yeah, the system is designed to protect these kind of people and hyper fixate on those who are not. Yeah, you get me. I won't continue trying to word it.